Hey guys, Eternize here. Today we're going to discuss what it takes to get started producing hardstyle. We're going to cover what gear you need, what to look for in a DAW, what the best plugins are, and much more. So if you've never produced music before, if you come from another genre and want to try hardstyle, or maybe you're a few years into producing hardstyle already, this video is for you. If you're new here, my name's Eternize and I've made hardstyle music and other genres for 18 years. And on this topic, I recently made a video showing my first 3 years producing hardstyle. So if you want to know what that looked like, now, before we get into the video, I want to announce that I opened the demo drop on my website, and from here on out, we're going to be doing demo reviews. So let's say every month I collect all the demos and do a review session where we listen to all of your tracks and I give feedback. Maybe we'll do it live, maybe your track will be featured in a video, maybe there'll be prizes to win, we'll have to see. To drop your demo, go to eternizemusic.com, go to demo and upload your track. Remember, to have your track featured, it will have to be at least 90% finished. I'm looking forward to listen to all your submissions, so go ahead and upload, it'll be a good time. Let's talk about what gear you actually need to get started with music production. Obviously you need a computer, right? But what you already have is probably fine. So the gear to consider beyond that are things like an audio interface, speakers, headphones, acoustical room treatment, things that help you make the right decisions as you make the music. I'm gonna be brutally honest here, and this is especially the case if you're new to music production. You don't need all of this stuff at all. It's a completely unnecessary barrier to entry. The thing is, you could sit in a fully treated room with the best audio equipment and the music you make will be no better than if you had Apple earpods in your ears. How can you possibly say that? That's outrageous. Well, that's my experience and I'm not alone on this. Till this day, I am still using my Bose Sport in-ears from 2012. They are barely holding together. I'm surprised they still work. You can literally see the wires along the cord, and I've glued the headphones themselves several times. The point is, I use these because I know them so well. It's not because of the audio quality they can produce. In that case, I would have never been successful with any of my productions. It works because I know exactly how they behave, and I know how the music should behave through them. So you too can use whatever. You literally can use Apple earpods. They have plenty of audio fidelity to make that work. The important thing is that you get to know them and know them really well. So don't think that you have to get all this gear to get started. You really don't. Having said that, are you better off with an audio interface and speakers and acoustical treatment? Sure, but only marginally. So again, it's an unnecessary barrier to entry. Plug some headphones directly into your computer and get going. Next thing to consider is the DAW or DAW. A DAW is a digital audio workstation. It's software specifically designed for music production. I would say, and the internet seems to agree, that you have 3 options when it comes to electronic music production: FL Studio, Ableton, and Logic Pro. Now, when you're looking to get into producing hardstyle specifically, FL Studio is absolutely dominating. There's no question about it. Not only are there a lot of existing hardstyle producers that use FL Studio, but new producers are also heavily gravitating towards it. And this comes with a lot of advantages. For example, the majority of tutorials on YouTube are shown in FL Studio. And if you need help or want to collaborate, you have the most options with FL. And that alone is very valuable when you're just starting out and want the most assistance possible. So that's a big selling point for FL Studio. Now, looking at the other two, Ableton and Logic Pro, the reason you'd want to go with these two are expandability. These are more future-proof and are looking ahead for the demand in the future. This is especially true for Ableton. You can easily consider this the most innovative and feature-rich DAW for electronic music production. So if you want to stay on top of what you can technically do in your DAW and what you can demand from your DAW, Ableton is the clear winner. Logic Pro lands somewhere in between the two. Lately, Logic Pro haven't been super innovative. They're kind of just following the mass. But the strength of Logic Pro is that it's both graphically and logically easy to navigate and to get going with. Also, I have to mention the stability of the DAW. I haven't had a freeze or crash in over 5 years using Logic Pro. I bet the users in FL Studio can't say the same thing. If we look at the pricing, there's quite a big difference in what you pay for and what you get as well. If you want everything in FL Studio, it's $500. And if you go with the least viable option, it's $200. Logic Pro, it's $200 and you get everything, and the stock plugins are actually good. Ableton is $750 for the full version and $450 for the least viable option. Now with FL and Logic, you get lifetime free updates. You don't get that with Ableton. So Ableton is very pricey. You pay for the luxury. FL Studio is in the middle of the road, and Logic Pro continues to be the best value pick. Next, let's look at what plugins you want to look into. No matter which DAW you're going with, natively the DAW doesn't come with a virtual synthesizer that's going to be up to par with today's standards. So we need to look into some third-party synthesizers and perhaps also some extra plugins to complement the stock plugins in your DAW. Starting with the virtual synths, again, the synths that come with your DAW are too limited when it comes to the leads and the sound design that is necessary for Hardstyle. So I would actually say that it's necessary for you to invest in a third-party virtual synthesizer when getting into Hardstyle. Of course, you can get by without, but it's going to be very hard for you to compete with the demand for modern sounds today. The good news is that you really only need one really good synth to make all the sound you need. I think the two most popular and the two most suited for Hardstyle you should consider are Serum and Silent One. It's not to say that there aren't other viable picks for Hardstyle, but taking everything into consideration, these are the top picks, and here's why. Serum is the ultimate synthesizer for now and for the future. It is wildly over-engineered and is easily the most capable synthesizer out there. You can create the most advanced sounds with this, there is no denying it. Silent One has been a producer staple for many years because of its sound and ease of use. It's so easy to get great results with this synth, and for a very capable synth, it's one of the easier ones to master. So what do you pick? Well, you pick any of them for their strengths. You'd pick Serum because you want the most capable and future-proof synth, and you'd pick Silent One because you want solid and reliable performance across the board. Now, I can tell you what I recommend, and without question that would be Silent One, because what you have to weigh in here is the learning curve. Again, Serum is easily the better synth of the two, but it also has a very steep learning curve. So for you to get full value out of this synth, it's going to take years, and all this time you're going to be underperforming. And if you just started out producing music and on top of that you chose Hardstyle, which is one of the hardest genres to produce, this is going to be more than you can chew. And that's why Silent One is the sweet spot. You can get going from day one and you're really not compromising on sound quality. It's much more beginner friendly, but you also have sufficient room to grow with the plugin. I'll also say this, I see so many people with Serum as the main synth not getting anywhere near out of it what it's capable of, and most of these people would be better off using a less complex synth like Silent One. It's the same as with the DAWs. Do you want to pay for complexity and future-proofing, or do you want user-friendly great performance here and now? Let's talk about potentially extra plugins to look into. These are effect plugins that can potentially lift your production quality if the stock ones included in your DAW are not sufficient. This is relevant even if you went with a DAW like Ableton or Logic Pro that has great stock plugins to begin with, because some third-party plugins are just that much better. A great example of this is with reverb. Third-party reverb plugins are just 10 times better than what comes with your DAW. So here I would highly recommend you to consider a reverb like Valhalla Room. It's $50 and is pretty much the gold standard in electronic music. Another example is getting the Shaper box. You're gonna need sidechaining when you make Hardstyle, and Shaper box is the best in the game. Could you do without? Yes. But will you likely get better results with the Shaper box and also save on convenience? Also yes. One of the big ones to look into also is the FabFilter bundle. FabFilter makes some of the best plugins and you can win a lot with what they offer. All of their plugins are super flexible and super versatile, and you can use them in so many scenarios. If you're in the game long term, I would 100% recommend them. Again, these are not must-haves, but with very little investment you can potentially lift your production quality quite a bit. And remember, when you buy good quality plugins, they will follow you 2, 5, 10 years into the future. One more thing that can potentially help you on your production journey, especially in the beginning, is a solid community. Being part of a community can help you in more ways than you might think, both practically and emotionally. For example, feedback. Giving and receiving feedback is perhaps one of the best ways to learn how to be self-critical. You are forced to be fair and objective not only to others but also to yourself. And being a producer, having the ability to be self-critical is a very important skill. Giving and receiving feedback is also a great way to learn about your production flaws. When making music, we're often fatigued or blinded to our own mistakes, but other people are not. So having a community that can make you aware of your flaws is very valuable. Being part of a community can also give you support and motivation. It can widen your social circle within the scene. It can provide you with opportunities that wouldn't have happened without, give you contacts and so on. We don't have a community platform on this channel yet, but that will come for sure because I think it's very valuable. Well, I guess we are starting to build a community with the demo reviews. So guys, upload your demo, we're gonna review it. If your track is selected, you're gonna receive some nice feedback, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Thank you so much for watching, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.